So the Bitcoin volcano bonds in El Salvador were slightly delayed. Bukele actually went at some FUD today on Twitter, and I always like following Bukele. So if you're not following him, you should definitely follow the president of El Salvador, because he's one of the more savage people on the internet, to say the very least. But he went at I don't even know how to say this, like Reuters or what, but he said he's basically a fan of Bitcoin Mag, because the Reuters FUD is that the volcano bonds were delayed for various reasons, and he came out and said that essentially there's a short delay in the issuance. It's only because they're prioritizing internal pension reform, and that they're going to send that they've sent that to Congress before. So overall, they're going to issue these Bitcoin bonds shortly, it seems, or at least according to Bukele's Twitter. But yeah, it seems like that's going to start the development of Bitcoin City and volcano mining in El Salvador. So El Salvador obviously is extremely bullish on Bitcoin going forward, and the first country that made Bitcoin legal tender. So I think a lot of Bitcoiners don't realize like how much, in my opinion, is kind of riding on El Salvador. I think a lot of the globe is kind of watching this project, and cities here or there, and even some smaller third world countries are kind of seeing how this project is going and learning from El Salvador to see how they can implement this for themselves going forward. So what do you think about the bonds getting delayed, and kind of the way Bukele has kind of held himself online and like publicly when it comes to making Bitcoin legal tender?
Yeah. So I like 95% of his tweets. I like most of the trolling. I think it's productive. I think it's helpful. I think parts of it, super small percentage, has not been helpful to him himself. Not like I'm offended or whatever. Just like the classic, like probably 5% of it has gone negative against him. But that's fine. And then as far as the Bitcoin bond, it takes a giant long time to do anything. And so my understanding of the bond is that they're gonna raise the money, they're gonna keep half of it in Bitcoin, use half of it to do the capital improvements, and then the idea is that the Bitcoin would be able to pay back the half Bitcoin would be able to pay back the investors over time, is my understanding of that. And if that's correct, that's the most well-designed one of these things that I've heard so far. Because to slightly bag on the city of Miami and what they tried to do with their city coin, I didn't understand the structuring of that at all. When they were like, hey, we donated $5 million to help homelessness, I'm like, cool. That sounds like a small GoFundMe thing. That's a drop in the bucket with all these other, again, fiat bathtub of programs problem. Sweet. I genuinely hope that helped a few people. But what El Salvador is doing it sounds like having a very long-term thing and really going for it, and half the money in Bitcoin, doing the capital improvements and paying the I'm interested. I want to hold one of these. I would do that. I would spend if it was a small minimum, I would hold one of those because I think that's interesting and I want to be a part of that. As far as things riding on El Salvador, I agree with you. I think their experiment is definitely still impactful, and it's one of these things where it's the announcements and the buzz were exciting, but what's more exciting is the actual day-to-day of the work that's actually happening, people actually going there, spending Bitcoin at the hotel, walking around themselves, seeing it, and then also we've talked about this before, but McDonald's, Starbucks, Taco Bell, these companies, again, figuring out what's actually happening with the payments that are happening at their restaurants. That's going to have domino impacts across their other stores if it goes well. I liked today, seeing Max Kaiser flying around with the guy from Mexico. I think that's super influential. I think that's super, super influential. So yeah, like I'm very excited for them. And I think, and the reason why I'm not also Bukele's back and forth with the one senator, like from the US too, again, just shows how awkward we are. Like that's just not, dude, it's just not interesting at all. Like you're not winning the internet. You don't understand how the internet works. You don't understand how Bitcoin works. You don't understand what's happening. You're not reading the room. You can't fathom that people would be frustrated with the decisions that you're making, and that like regular people, like you're there. The United States then, by being like antagonistic, is putting regular people like me like in an awkward position, because then someone's like, look, dude, I'll side with El Salvador. Like if that's what you're asking me to do, if you're honestly pushing me to do that and asking me to do that, completely will do that, because their leader is making more logical decisions than you are. And that's just the way it is now, because the internet shares the information that fast. And so like, sorry, like, and then again, circling back to like the whole homestead thing, like, dude, you're not even doing anything positive from my little 10,000 square feet right here. And so I don't care about your opinion about what El Salvador is doing at all. And so I'm going to cheer on the guy that I think is making the more logical decisions. So yeah, all of that is, I hope the Bitcoin bond works out. Never noticed that it was delayed, and agreed that Bitcoin Magazine is better than Reuters.